In other news, Lil Wayne was caught with a gun and drugs on a plane.
I know they searched the plane. I didn't hear anything more about it.
Yeah, they found a gun and drugs on the plane, and Wayne has admitted that it was his. Because they found a gun, they also found MDMA in pill and crystal form, as well as weed, cocaine, and heroin.
See, now I was hoping that that story wasn't true. You know why? Because for that to happen so soon after Juice WRLD just got caught on a private plane with 75 pounds of weed, pills that he fucking took because he was scared that he was gonna fucking get locked up, which ultimately took his life, you would think that motherfuckers would fall back from doing shit like that. But here we go again. What I just talked about earlier, muscle memory. Shit that you're used to doing. Okay? Dudes like Wayne probably thought that this whole flying private, that's probably been the get over for the longest time for dudes like them. No more. Like that shit is probably over now. Like being able to just bring guns and all kinds of drugs and shit. Nuh-uh. Not no more. At least not for the very near future, especially with all this Juice WRLD shit that just happened. Y'all can't keep moving in the same way that you moved in the early 2000s. Like, you understand?
Well, yeah. I mean, number one, this goes way back. I mean, BMF, they got busted by basically transporting cocaine in private jets. Like they would basically get these suitcases, they would put flyers all over it with cocaine in the middle. Then the feds came and busted that. I mean, Rollo is in prison right now because he was allegedly caught with a bunch of marijuana on a private jet once again. Although this is a private jet, you are still under the U.S. system. Any plane
but it's
can be
I
checked.
feel it's probably a little more lax than the public when you're going through security and all of that type of shit. And when you finally get on the plane, you got to understand something. Money buys you access to a lot of shit, and money also takes away suspicion. Okay? So when you have money, you're not as suspicious of doing shit to people. So if you got money to buy, to rent, to charter a jet, nobody's really thinking that you might be smuggling drugs. It's when you're on that public jet, you know what I mean, on that regular jet with people that don't have a lot of money, they're very suspicious of the poor. You're more suspicious of the poor than the rich. So these are a bunch of poor people. Chances are they are going to be trying to change their life and maybe smuggle something. So let me be more on top of these people. So black people, you know, especially rappers and entertainers, we're just finding out what money, you know, the kind of access that money brings you and how it takes away your suspicion sometimes.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess the sad part is that back in 2010, Lil Wayne was sentenced to a year in prison for a gun in New York. So you would think going through that, and he was already a mega star back then, it's like, okay, yo, just don't fuck with this at all. If you really need some drugs, there's going to be some waiting for you when you land. You're Lil Wayne. Like, you have no shortage of people. And I remember Boosie, in our last interview, he went through this whole like rant about how everyone needs a fall partner.
You gotta have you a fall partner with you everywhere. That's what he made for. That's what he round for. That's his job. He has no convictions. He's never been in trouble. That's his job. The whole world needs to know that you gotta have you a fall partner, dog. Who's gonna say, sir, all of that is mine, sir. That's mine.
Like in the crew. Basically take some dude out the hood who has no criminal record, and as soon as something like that happens, yes, sir, that's mine. Yep, right. That's mine, sir. Yes, officer. Those drugs, that's mine. Gun, I'm taking that charge. That's my gun, officer. Yes, I will take that. He said you have to have that person in your crew.
And that's simple to do. That's simple to pay for. All the money y'all tricking off in strip clubs, y'all can't put a little, you know what I mean? A little stack to the side for the fall guy? Like, come on, man. Knock it off.
Yeah, I mean, bad decisions. You know, like I remember I interviewed Tankhead. He was basically XXXTentacion's main like muscle, basically protector. And we talked about, yo, like why was he by himself with a bag of cash? And he's like, yo, like X would just roll up solo all the time. He just never quite realized how big of a star he was. Even though he had the #1 album in the country and everyone in the world knew who he was, he would just roll up solo. He could afford security. He could afford, his own people would offer security for him for free. But yet he just would go and, that's too much trouble. I'm just going to go do this, go do this, go do this. And it cost him his life.
Cause X used to pull up by himself on us a lot. Like in Miami, he pulled up by himself. I tapped the window, but why you pulling up by yourself? He'll be like, nobody messing with me, bro. Like just like that. Cause he felt like
it was his biddy, you know what I'm saying?
If there was, you could best believe that when those guys were staking him out,
If they would have saw at least one person with him, they might have thought twice.
yeah. And Tankhead, he talked about in our interview how he carried a gun everywhere. Like, and he's a big, scary looking dude. People see that, and they say, I'll go find an easier victim somewhere. This looks like I might get killed in the process.
Resistance. You don't, you want to get it the easiest you can get it.